Working within a certain set of defined units is crucial in AutoCAD. You can only work with one set of units at a time. So how do you do it? Well, first you have to define your units. This is where a template file comes in very handy. You can have this already set up for you. Just start with a template. You can set up multiple templates, one set up for inches, one set up for millimeters, etc. But if your template isn't set, which it probably isn't right now, then you need to set it up in your own file, and that's easy to do. We looked at that in the last section. Just on AutoCAD, if you want to make a new file, and then type in the word units. You can also go up to the application menu, go down to Drawing Utilities, and go to the Units option. Click it. And set up your units here accordingly. For this example, we're going to use decimals and feet. This means that one unit will be 1 foot long. So we want to set up to decimal, and we want to set the insertion scale to feet. This doesn't change your units in AutoCAD, but it will affect how other AutoCAD files or blocks are scaled when you bring them in. So you can draw in feet in this drawing here. Then you can get another drawing that's made by someone else that's drawn in millimeters. And as long as your insertion scale and their insertion scale are set up correctly, it will take the other file and scale it accordingly so that it is in the actual size that it should be. Okay, in this example, we're going to assume everything is in 1 foot, since we're in feet and we have decimals. That means when I draw a line of 1 unit long, it will be 1 foot long. It's good CAD practice to draw everything to its real length. That means that if you need to draw a room that is 15 feet wide by 20 feet long, then you draw it 15 feet long by 20 foot wide. Don't scale it, don't guess at it, draw it exactly that. This is good for several reasons. 1, you are always creating an accurate drawing. And 2, your drawing will be properly drawn to scale when printing. And 3, others that need to use your file will know what's going on with your line work. Typically, AutoCAD users will work with one set of drawing units, whatever they might be. Sometimes, though, you will need to work with files that are drawn in different units. That's why it's so important to define your units in the Unit Manager. If this is done properly, then AutoCAD can interpret the different units accordingly and scale the line work as needed when you bring it into your drawing. Keep in mind that not all CAD users are created equal, and none of them are as responsible as you are, and they may not have properly set their units. So it's a good idea to check the file before you work with it. Let me give you an example. I'm going to close this file. In this file, this is an architectural example drawn in inches. So if we check the units, we'll see that it's in inches and it's set to architectural. If we use the distance command by typing in DI, we can measure the sizes of the rooms and the walls, etc. So this room is 12 feet by 26.5 feet. Overall, this building is 64 feet by 40 feet. So we get an idea. I have another file open called the Civil Example, and this is in Imperial. Its units are in feet and decimals. It's just a small road and another road, a little pond, and then 3 lots. This outline or building footprint, it measures 40 feet by 70 feet. Now, if I want to take that building that I showed you and I want to insert it into this drawing, it's very simple to do. I type in the Insert command. And then I can insert any of these blocks that are already in here, or I can browse to a folder. You can browse to anywhere that you have access to. And I want to insert the architectural example file. So browse to where you have this, select it, click Open. Now we're going to insert it by scale. Now, since both drawings were set up correctly, our civil example is set up in decimals and feet, and the architectural example is set up in architectural units with inches, AutoCAD, as you can see here in the block unit, is automatically scaling this accordingly. So both of them have units. One unit in the civil drawing is 1 foot. One unit in the architectural drawing is 1 inch. So I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to tell it to put it right here. And now we can move this around however we want and however we need. And we've inserted our building to scale here. So we can measure this with the distance command. We can come to this endpoint and measure it across. We see that it's 40 units. 40 units in this drawing means 40 feet. Now, if we go back to double check, and you can toggle back and forth through drawings that you have open by pressing Control and Tab at the same time. DI, again, for distance. Pick this point, and then pick this point. Both are 40 feet long. So that's fantastic. That worked exactly the way we wanted it to. Now, I'm going to undo all of this. We undid everything. Now let's check the units again. We're still at feet, but I want to change it to inches, which is going to be wrong. Okay, and now let's insert that file. Browse to it. Remember, type in the word insert, I-N-S-E-R-T. Browse to the file you want. This is it. Click Open. And you can see the unit is set to inches, and the scale factor is 1. So it's going to bring it in at 1 to 1. And now what happens? Our building is as big as our whole entire subdivision. That's because AutoCAD thinks that the units are the same. It thinks that they're both inches. So 1 inch is 1 inch. Well, 1 inch equals 1/12 of a foot. So this is 12 times too big. So it will measure the same units across, but it thinks it's in inches. So it was 40 units long, but it scaled it to inches times 12 because that's the scale factor. So it makes it 480 units long. So getting your units correct can help you, and it can help you save a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it makes things more accurate. So just take the time to set your units to whatever units you're using. And when you get another file, take a few moments to make sure it's set correctly. If you forget to do that and something comes in too big or too small, then check your units in your file and in the other.